Yeah, what? I understand I got a lot on my mind, a lot on my chest. That's why.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Lloyd
I'm Tasha.
with Midnight Comics. Welcome back to another crossover event with the Indie Breakdown, another What If Wednesday situation where we are pulling indie characters into some of your more mainstream, more prominent groupings or teams or what have you. Last week, or the first week, we actually did Avengers. The following week, we did Justice League. Last week, we did the Fantastic Four. We're ending this little crossover event, if you would, and bringing you guys the Xmen. So again, the big thing is we're pulling from the Indie Breakdown database. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, definitely head on over to indiebreakdown.com and check out the database. Whether it's Nexus or Reckoning, we did not discriminate between the two. We were pulling from both and determining who would be a great stand-in for these teams. Now, the other caveat for these teams are we are picking from the original teams, right? So this time around with the X-Men, we are giving you Angel, Beast, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, and through Taj, who wanted us to include this loser. No, I'm joking. Professor X himself. So
why are you joking?
You're right.
Screw Charles to the day he die again.
I really don't.
And
like
again.
And again. So we're gonna go ahead and pop it off. I'll start us off as per normal here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. We finally hit our we finally ended up picking the same character for the first time with Mara. That was the one that did it on the Fantastic Four video. That's all right. Now, will we run into the same problem? Uh-oh. Hold on. It's being stupid. Hold on. Let me fix this.
Let me get my tripod up because it was falling.
For whatever reason, I cannot bring it up. This is dumb.
Bring what up?
There we go. It's having a hard time. All right, y'all. So here we go. So we're going to start off with Angel. I debated about this. I sat on this for a second.
Did you know?
I did. The person that I chose to take Angel's spot is Phenom Girl. So Phenom Girl has flight bands. They also create force fields that protect against everything except for hand-to-hand combat. She has a magic immunity, and she can heal, which reminded me of that one character from Overwatch, right? Because she was a healer or something like that. She had angel wings and stuff. So, yeah, there we go. But anyway, she could fly. She could heal. Not really. Angel, to me, no shade on the character. He was really useless.
We've had this conversation.
We've had this discussion. I'm going to put myself out there on the internet and say Angel was probably the most useless person on this team, in my opinion. But yeah, I chose Phenom Girl. So
they're put scarier things on the internet for hot takes, so I think you'll be all right.
Okay, noted. So there's my choice. Tasha, talk to us. From your reaction, I know that's not the one we're crossing over on.
Nah, I just chose the ninja with the wings. Nah, I said, hey, whatever.
I chose the what with the wing? You said what? Okay. Ravenmocker. All right. Low hanging fruit, I guess. I missed. I dropped the ball.
Yeah, we went low on that. Ain't nobody else got no wings in this whole database.
Okay.
No one else really has. There's not many other characters that's just like, yeah, half of them can fly. More than half of them hoes can fly. So wings it is.
Okay. There's the quota from Tasha. There's the Midnight Comics character on the team somewhere. Okay. Now, funny enough, initially, the Ravenmocker was going to be my choice for this next character.
Beast.
It was going to be my choice for Beast. However, I decided to go a different direction. A character that you picked in a previous video, I decided to go with Damon here. This increased strength that would have you. Again, old school Beast ain't even had a fur. You know what I'm saying? He was just an acrobatic guy. So let's go with Damon, right? He's got the strength. He looks like a normal guy, but I wouldn't arm wrestle him. I wouldn't want to do
proper
boxing
buildings, I don't think you should do that
at all. So that's my choice for B. So and Slick, we're running through it, but we are going to talk about the villains at the end here in a second. But yeah, that's my choice for. Excuse me, Beast. Who do you have? Oh,
so
baby.
I don't even remember what my first choice was anymore. Oh yes, I do, because I have it written down and crossed out. So I have a lot of Reckoning characters on this one. I have one Nexus character. I actually, after much deliberation and deciding not to go with Kosis, I decided instead to go with Hopebreaker.
Really?
Yes. Now, Hopebreaker is powerful and probably more fitting as a more recent beast, but still, even Beast ain't up to where Hopebreaker is. My thing with Hopebreaker is more the, I guess what you could call split personality kind of thing.
Okay, modern
where
Beast.
When Beast first started actually becoming the version of Beast where he does have the fur, it was something that he had a hard time with. He didn't want to accept it, and so he didn't like it. He couldn't control it, and so it was one of those things that's just out of his control, out of his hands, and he just was not happy about it. Whereas you have Hopebreaker, there's also evil version Hopebreaker, who is in the background of the card right there. Who Hopebreaker, at least initially in the first issue of what's going on so far, he's there. Hopebreaker doesn't really know much about him, why he's there, and he don't like him because he's evil him. Even though Beast was never evil, but duality works regardless.
Okay, wasn't there like Dark Beast and stuff like that? So I mean, it works, right?
I guess I was thinking more of Beast in himself, so more so than that kind of thing. That's the thing that went away.
Okay, I'm with it. So that's the choice for Beast. Okay, that's definitely that. I'm not going to hold you. I would not have thought Hopebreaker at all.
My other choice initially was Kosis.
Really?
Because pretty much the same reasons.
Okay, I can dig that.
Because Kosis has the other mode. When he goes.
Yeah, he has the manic state.
Yes, that's right. He does also call it the manic state. I didn't want to say the other thing. It feels wrong.
Jesus. So, the next one is Cyclops. This one was pretty easy for me. Just like Phenom Girl. Well, not Phenom Girl. I thought about that. Cyclops was easy for me. And this is another character that you picked in the previous one. I went Vibrant.
Then we didn't pick the same character then. Because no. I still was trying to make sure that I didn't cross over anything that I picked before.
Yeah. No, that's real. But yeah, here he is, Vibrant. I mean, yeah, he could shoot energy from any, portion of his body, of course, even in the image there.
I was like, what you finna say? Any what? Orifice?
Orifice. But yeah, he's able to shoot laser beams from his eyes, energy from anywhere. Got red blast. I mean, you can't go wrong, right? So, yeah, Vibrant. And again, like I said this about Atlas, and I say this about Vibrant. They have the superhero feel, man. Just the designs that they got going on. Whoever they're getting to draw, TDJ Comics draws his own stuff. That's Atlas and stuff like that. But he's got the sauce with it, man. They understand what it takes to make an iconic character, and just from the looks and stuff from it alone, again, he looks like he could lead the team. So, yeah, that's my choice. I'm going Vibrant.
I see it. That doesn't bother me. Okay. I think it's a good choice.
Okay, but what's your choice?
So again, we're still in the reckoning. Also, you need to fix the backlink on this because when I click on the back of the card, it takes me to Phenom Girl. However, that being said, I picked Mech.
Okay.
He looks like a Scott Summers lookalike. He's got the big puffed out chest. He's got on a visor. He doesn't shoot blasts from his eyes with the visor, but he's wearing it. Other than that, he's mostly got like anti-gravity stuff, and is an engineer.
Okay.
But he's got that leader look. He's got a Scott look about him.
Yeah. He looked like Captain Commando.
Ha!
That's what he looks like to me.
His suit kind of looks like Captain Commando suit.
Yeah. Even the visor, yeah. Okay. These are some good ones. This next one. You know what? The only ones that were like really, the three that were really easy for me would be Cyclops and Professor X. Angel and Marvel Girl were
Professor
the ones.
X was the easiest one for me.
Yeah, that might be the
And
one.
then I guess Angel is kind of.
I tossed and turned at this one. I pick Raina.
You know, it was an option.
Okay, fair enough.
It was an option.
She utilizes glory, which is the power system in our story Dogma. So she has light constructs. She has exorcism. That's the connection. Although it's not necessarily telepathy. Well, if you also have glory, there is a slight telepathic connection between others that have that. But in regards to the exorcism and stuff like that, able to expunge these demonic entities and stuff like that and knock them out, or just get rid of them completely. I think about when Jean Grey in the Onslaught saga basically reverts Smart Hulk back into actual Hulk, right? So kind of same type of situation where it's just like, yeah, I'm removing this to make it better. In this case, you know, not so good for Banner and Hulk, but wonderful to fight Onslaught. So yeah, I don't have much more of a selling point with that, but again, between some light telepathy through glory and others that have it, the exorcism abilities and the photokinetic constructs, aka light constructs, I think we can get away with it. I think I can get away with it. So there we go.
I think you can get away with it. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's no worse than the Raven Mocker or Mac. However, so I almost picked Phenom Girl for this one.
Okay.
And then I was like, meh. And then I honestly thought we were going to have the same person for Marvel Girl. I really did.
Okay.
And while we do not, it was close because they're both Midnight Comics characters. I've gone with Awashima.
Oh my God, I forgot she was in there.
Awashima has telepathy, telekinesis, emotional inducement.
Dang it.
Powers over here right quick. Energy constructs.
She got the sauce.
She's like a little mini Jean Grey.
She even has a transformation joint.
Right.
In the issue that really sets her up a notch
for her, and it's something that she's not exactly familiar with, that feels foreign, and she can't completely control.
Damn, had a character that had the Dark Phoenix properties too, and didn't even touch her. Damn,
touch her. I am shocked.
She wasn't. She wasn't even in consideration. She wasn't even a thought.
Your mouth got so close to the microphone.
I did not mean to get that. I didn't mean to get close like that.
His mouth in the camera.
Man. But yeah.
Yes, this was actually this and Professor X were the easiest ones for me.
Okay. I feel like
I was like, Awashima's right there.
Yeah. I feel like Professor X might be the one. I said that I feel like Professor X might be the one. Maybe. Okay. I'll tell you what. Do you want to
remember I haven't overlapped any of my characters.
Okay, same.
So if it's somebody I've picked, if it's somebody I've picked before, I didn't pick them.
Yeah, same.
Well, so for yourself, but you've picked characters that I've picked before.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
So I don't know if you picked anyone I've picked already for Professor X.
I want to try something fun here.
You want us to pull it up at the same time?
I want us to count down and say who we picked.
Gotcha.
And hopefully it's different, but if not, then we can just pull it up and.
What else?
All right.
I still share by screen typing.
I had removed it. I
I mean, I know, but I was still sharing.
Oh, I missed it. So, 3, 2, 1. Street Smarts. Me there. There it is.
There it is.
I mean,
Now, I almost thought of Jason again, but I said I use Jason for Reed.
Yeah.
I use Jason for Reed, so we're not doing that.
Okay. Well, we don't have to dive deep. What he has that alien organic cyber mind situation.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally got Cerebro in his head. Like you can't.
Right.
Like there's no. He's got bombs. He's got a flying board. But again, him much like Jason is one of the most smartest characters. One of the smartest characters in the database.
Yeah.
And again,
one of
very much so.
There's like two more. Some that are smarter than one or both of them.
Yeah. But yeah, that organic alien brain robot situation that he's got going on, Cerebro, bro.
That's
it.
the one. That's the one.
His flying board is literally Professor X's wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like that's so.
Right, he can just walk. Like
right,
he can walk.
So yeah, okay. So that was
all right.
That was good. So here is the tough part. Here was the tough part. Because at the end of each of these, because at the end of each of these, we have been, kind of what is the word that I'm looking for? It doesn't matter.
Extra credit?
The extra credit.
Special
right? Bonus round, whatever. We have been trying to figure out who should be the stand-in for the villain that is on that first cover in Xmen.
Well, you specifically have chosen the villain from the first cover. I'm just hey, I'm thinking of a random villain. I'm just throwing them out there.
So I did manage to do both this time as well. So I have Magneto, and then I have a stand-in villain, a more recent villain for some. But my choices for Magneto from the database,
I feel like some of these choices, I've been looking for something to do with this man, and right when I could have done it, I couldn't remember what he could do.
Mm-hmm. Able to manipulate Earth, so he's got telekinesis, he's got Earth mimicry, and he can make an exoskeleton from Earth. Right?
Magnitude. And he is the leader, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is the leader of the elite.
Yeah,
the elites. Yeah. So
the crazy thing is,
Brotherhood of Evil, right? A Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Yeah.
I was talking about Magnitude, but yeah.
Oh, I was saying the elites would be a stand-in for the Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. Oh, yeah.
So my second choice
is it one of the other people?
Right.
Okay. I was like the only other option that I could think of is Josiah, who is also a part of that.
Yeah. So again, 3 weeks in a row, TDJ, he's got the sauce, y'all. Atlas, Amara, we just talked about Magnitude, and then there's Josiah. Not a lot to say. He's got gravity manipulation again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then third, this isn't Magneto right here. So I picked Eric J. Majors for a different X-Men villain. One that was the main villain.
I have a question. Does this have anything to do with a certain organization that is full of hellfire? And
no,
Emma Frost was a part of. Really?
No, actually.
Not Sebastian Oak.
No, I'm going Bastion.
Oh.
Because he can interface with technology.
That makes sense. Okay.
Stores energy. He's got.
To be fair, I just looked at this guy and his evil face, and he gave me Sebastian vibes.
Oh yeah, no.
I didn't recall what that guy's that you pulled up powers were.
Yeah. So yeah, nano-organic mystical particles throughout his body. Between that and interfacing with technology, I said, "Oh, that's Bastion. This is Bastion right here." So I don't know what this last one was. Oh, that was Mech. We were looking at Mech earlier. Okay, so yeah, so those are my choices. So for Magneto, I'm going Magnitude or Josiah Wright. I might just leave it to Magnitude, because he's the man with the plan, right? Regardless, I mean, was cool, but this guy leads the charge, right? So, and then getting the names Magneto, Magnitude, like you can't. It's right there. It's right there. And then my secondary villain that's not on the first cover, but still an X-Men villain. I got Eric J. Majors as Bastion.
I so badly, because you had everybody else in there, wanted to find something for Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I could honestly also take a third for Magneto and do a gender swap. And we can pick more people from the same organization and use Divana. Now
PDJ
hers is
Comics, shouts
specific
out.
to
You got the character,
pains,
bro.
but
Yeah. But she can generate it from anywhere, so okay.
makes me think of Ancora.
Yeah. So okay, this is a solid. Okay,
But
so
that was also a random throw in just now. So I have two characters.
That
Two
was the
different.
last second thing. Okay, hold on.
No, I did it before we started.
Okay.
The first one, if I remember correctly, I was going to do Black Tom Cassidy.
Okay. Who are you picking?
Funny enough, I'm going to use Incendiary.
Oh, Incendiary. Okay.
I feel like he's definitely stronger
Mm-hmm.
than Tom Cassidy,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a similarity there.
Okay. I can dig this.
Mostly on the kinetic, because I think he also uses kinetic energy, or
Mm-hmm.
I think Incendiary does also, if I remember. And then he can do explosions and concussive blasts and stuff, which Tom Cassidy can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it's him in way more monstrous form.
Okay.
But the other one, which I really wanted to do, and I could only find one character that I thought fit good enough, which is unfortunate because it's a character we've used already for something else, kind of on a sidebar conversation though. I don't remember if you actually used him for a character we're supposed to be doing. Maybe you may have just mentioned him, but my Abencer, if you would, my apocalypse,
Your apocalypse
is Gollum.
Okay.
Not Egyptian, but close enough. close,
Right.
close on that same side of the world, on the same continent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's one Egyptian character in the database, but he doesn't fit at all.
No. Yeah.
But he's also, if I recall correctly, immortal.
Yeah.
He's immortal. He can absorb. He has some kinds of absorption, transformations, and stuff like that. And I was like, this is probably the closest thing we're going to get to Apocalypse currently in the database.
Yeah. I can dig that. Okay. This is solid. Okay. So, with that being said, then our X-Men team is what, Tasha? Street Smarts.
Street Smarts is obvious. I think we can keep Vibrant. I don't think we kept Vibrant on the Avengers.
No.
We didn't keep Vibrant on the Avengers. We kept not the Avengers. That was
Justice League.
That was Justice League. I had to flip the paper over and look.
Oh, you wrote these down too? Okay, praise the Lord.
I wrote mine down.
I thought we were.
Yeah, it was a Green Lantern thing, so we stuck with the Tridian. So he didn't get to stick on the team anyway. So that's fine. Obviously, we're holding on to Awashima.
Oh God, yeah, that's
the Beast. You went with.
I went with Damon.
Hulkbreaker. Damon. He also didn't get chosen for his, which he was Avengers. He was Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's OG Beast before he ever got the fur, I think Damon is definitely a better pick than Hulkbreaker, because Hulkbreaker is way too powerful for that. And then Angel is probably the more difficult one for me. We're between Phenom Girl and Ravenmocker, so.
Okay. Okay. Damn. You know what?
Not what?
Usually in the case of mutants, right, there is some kind of external situation. Not always, right? But I think what I want, because like Beast didn't have an external,
again.
Like an external showcase of like the powers and stuff like that, right? Most of them did. Like Beast doesn't have any fur, so we went with Damon, right? Angel has wings, right? So I'm gonna go Ravenmocker because it was visible. I'm going based on the how they look on the cover.
Okay, because I was gonna say now that's not the case. Most X-Men,
no,
difference between X-Men and us is that they can just blend in as long as they
right. I'm talking. I'm trying in regards to the cover. Beast didn't have any kind of. I mean, he was just agile, right? So he was just a regular guy. So
you're saying you're trying to pick the characters based off of their.
So if there's a cover that gets done or a fun image, who can actually sit in the spot? She just has flight bracelets,
and so that you can at least kind of know who's who.
Who's who? So in the case of this, we'll put Ravenmacher in Angel's spot. Okay. So now the hard one. Oh no, that's it. There's nothing hard about this. That's it. Yeah. So Angel is Ravenmacher, Beast is Damon, Cyclops is Vibrant, Marvel Girl is Awashima, and Professor X is Street Smarts. And they're all gonna go against Magnitude. That's the cover. That'll be so cool. Okay. We got a winner. That's a good one. This is good. This is good.
All right.
I really enjoyed this, Tosh.
I know.
I really enjoyed this. So everybody that's watching, this is the last pre-recorded video of the soft.
The last crossover. It's the last Midnight Comics Indie Breakdown crossover for now. I'm sure.
For now.
Sure, you'll think of something else, especially after the database opens back up and we get more characters.
When the database opens back up, I want to see who would be picks for the Illuminati. That's what I want. That's off the dome. That's the one I want. Okay, I want that. And I want the I want Dark Avengers. And I want what is Lex Luthor? What is it? Legion of Doom. Jesus Christ. I could not think of it just now. All right. Legion of Doom, Dark Avengers, Illuminati. Those are the three I want. Do you have any teams that you want to see whenever the database opens back up? She gonna say Alpha Flight, X-Force, and
we should do X-Force.
X-Force? Okay.
And West, I guess that's
West Coast Avengers?
That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
And the Outcasts.
The Outcasts.
Decent.
Yeah. I was thinking like off.
And we're gonna do the Power Company, and then I'm joking.
Like off the dome, I was sitting there like, wait a second. Okay, you could use Martyr for Katana. You could use, if we want to use a bad guy. Is
Martyr the chick in there that's the assassin?
Yeah.
In the all black fit?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, totally.
But we're not gonna use villain, so I was gonna use one of Tariq's characters for Black Lightning. But he's a villain, so no. Anyway, when the database opens back up, drop some characters in there.
Oh, and the Brotherhood, obviously.
Oh, and the Brotherhood. Right.
You got to stick with the original, the first Brotherhood, because otherwise, just like with the X-Men, it'll get to be too much.
Yeah. Okay. So, more on this soon, but before any of that happens, we are going to be going back again. What If Wednesdays is going to be most likely back live. And the plan is for us to do recreate the Spider-Verse utilizing public domain characters. And we brought that up in previous videos, but we failed to bring up the fact that we actually have a public domain course that you guys can take to learn how you guys can utilize public domain characters safely. Again, we're not legal alternatives, if you would, so still, do your proper research and stuff like that. But we have used public domain characters in the past, so we're basically taking you through the journey of how we utilize them and all the things that we looked out for and stuff like that ahead of time. So visit midnightcomics.org for that. And any other closing thoughts, Missy?
Sorry, children. It sounded like something was echoing too. Follow Indie Breakdown and Midnight Comics on all social media. Subscribe, like, tell us your Indie Comics OG X-Men.
And that's all.
And that's been Indie Breakdown, where we're redefining power scaling in the indie comic book community.
Hey, okay. And what else closing out here? Thank you guys for tuning in. Huh?
I came up with the slogan.
You sure did. Shouts out to you. And so, with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, remember, until next time, everyone, midnight is coming.
Bitch, I'm proud.